I had just finished doing an engagement shoot at my location, and I thought it'd be really, really cool to film right here, right now. I will say I only have 12 minutes worth of space left, so I'm gonna go super straight into it. Welcome back to my channel. If you're not on my channel and instead you're on Spotify, welcome back to my podcast. We're gonna go straight into it. My original commitment was to post weekly, and I had filmed something last week, but I wasn't entirely satisfied, or I knew I could have done better when it came to relaying what was going on in my head, sharing my thoughts. So basically what I've been wanting to do from this point forward is to just share with you things that I had learned, whether it's from listening to audiobooks, my brain literally going like bingo, or anything like that, from, or things like learning and talking to other people, stuff like that. So in the light of all of that, the adrenaline rush is insane filming at a canopy walk, but this is the only place where, honestly, there's nobody. There's literally nobody. Everybody's downstairs, but there's nobody up here. So having this space to myself is really great. As for starters, just reminders, I am not a therapist. If you need to go see one, please go see a specialist or a therapist. They are such a great resource and such great help. Go for it. Number two, I am not a theologian. I am not a Bible preacher or any of that sort. I am not a spiritual leader. I am just a girl or better yet, a woman who is learning to navigate her mid-20s, learning from mistakes, and is willing to share all of it on the internet. So if these next few pointers resonate with you, then I'm so glad. If it doesn't, you can move on. This is just for people who do come across this video or this podcast. So for starters, one of the things that I learned these past 2 weeks is, number one, you actually do get to decide who you want to be. I know. That's such a simple thought, but when you grow up in a conservative Christian home / environment, one of the biggest things that they're going to talk to you about is, oh, you got to make sure it's the Lord's will, this and that, and not understanding how free will works and how God's will intertwine with each other, and how God really does give you the liberty to choose a career path or a ministry path in which the gospel is being furthered. There's a lot of confusion with that, and that clashes. And just recently I learned that I do get to decide who I want to become, but ultimately you have to learn how to differentiate between the outcome of that journey and the identity of the person who you want to become. So for example, for me, one of the things I want to become is I really want to be a full-time photographer who is a believer, who gets to pray with her clients and just serves her clients through photography. And the result of that journey isn't really the photos or the clients that I have, but rather building or pursuing the fact that I do want to become somebody who serves the Lord through photography, if that makes sense. That's the best way I could do it. Number two that I learned recently is take responsibility for everything in your life. And this was such a hard pill to swallow because I have gone through so much as a child growing up. There's spiritual trauma, emotional trauma, physical trauma that had taken place with me, even sexual trauma, that in the light of all of that, as an adult now, I realize that I need to take responsibility for it. It does not mean that it is my fault. Taking responsibility does not mean it's your fault. But through every pain, every suffering, every trauma, knowing what I've gone through, I realize that from this point forward, I have a choice on how I'm going to live with the consequences of what had happened to me. And again, it doesn't mean all of it is my fault. It just means now as an adult, I'm going to take care of Adri. Okay. Number three is, this is a tough pill to swallow, but you must learn how to live with your own flaws. That's a lot. All of us have things we're insecure about. All of us have flaws. All of us have shortcomings, especially me. Like, I live with clinical anxiety, and suffering mentally through that does not make me a victim to it. And that took a while for me to learn, but then I realized that like I said, from this point forward, I get to choose how to live with it. Now, this advice isn't for everybody. I'm just at a point in my anxiety, mental health journey, healing journey that I can say this. And so basically, just because you struggle with something, or you have shortcomings in all these different things that you really can't, that's just a reality for you, living with it doesn't mean you're a victim to it. So I hope that encourages you today. Number 4 is you don't have to get it right the first time. I don't know where on earth I learned personally that every time I do something new, I have to get it right the first time. And I think that stems from my perfectionism. But as time went on, I realized like I don't have to get it right the first time, especially when it comes to God's will for your life. Like I thought in my head that I was going to be a pastor's wife and all these different things, that this was God's calling in my life. And then last year happened. 2 years ago happened. God saved me. And my life has been so different, and God is continuing to change me, and I can even see change with the way how I view the practicalities of life. So I realized like I don't have to get it right the first time. It's a whole journey. It's a life journey. Things change. You change. You evolve. Your beliefs change. Your perspectives change. But ultimately, at the end, it grows you into a better person. So really, please take the pressure off of yourself and realize that you don't have to get it right the first time. Okay. Number 5 is give yourself permission to be angry, to feel without judgment. Recently, I had a very big crash out, and it involved another party. And I found myself like labeling, oh, you're a Christian, you shouldn't be like this, you shouldn't be angry like this, you shouldn't be like this and that. And then in that moment, I was just like, man, I am a human being. God does not want me to be more than just human. So I can process what I'm feeling. I can be angry in the moment, not at God, but with God concerning what this person did or what I did or how I reacted, whatever the case is. Like processing that with the Lord has been so great. And I am in the process, or I am in the journey of no longer labeling myself to immediately do something when I can just be human in that moment, especially with my emotions and especially with what I'm feeling. Number 6 that I learned these past 2 weeks is show up for yourself even when you feel the most insecure. Ooh, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. That's really hard for me because I have so many insecurities. But learning to show up for myself, even when I'm the most insecure, has really been so good for me. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be really hard. But I realized that my identity isn't my insecurities. And when I begin to ask the questions why I feel insecure about something, I often find that fear is the underlying root of it. And that fear is being fueled by my comparison, unconsciously. And then that comparison leads to like an unconscious discontentment within myself. And then I start condemning myself because I'm discontent and all these different things. And it just feeds and nurtures the root even more. So that insecurity then grows into this plant. And I'm so comfortable with that. But as time goes on and as I'm learning, I realize that I need to start showing up for myself even when I feel the most insecure, and let the fruit of that labor move me forward rather than staying stuck and being a victim to my insecurities. So yeah, that's number 6. The last part is, I know this is a lot, and I'm talking really fast because I'm also terrified. I'm in the canopy walk. I know I don't have to do this, but again, here I am. It is what it is. Number 7 and last, take steps to rewire your brain, even when in fear. Learning about neuroplasticity, psychology, how the mind works, has been such a beautiful journey for me. And it's so beautiful in a way where I no longer have to spiritually put a Band-Aid over what I'm going through mentally, or like put a spiritual Band-Aid over wounds and things like that. But now I'm like addressing them to the roots, without learning to do it without judgment, hesitation. And even when I feel anxious and I'm scared, I find that God has given me the support system I need. Number 1 with Him, through His Word, through resources I find on the internet backed up by science, through family members, people in the medical field who've given me advice. I'm just so grateful. And I don't have to be afraid of the changes that do come when it's time to rewire my brain. And so again, this is a whole process and journey. Please take your time when it comes to rewiring your brain, or rewiring your thinking. I can go deeper into that, eventually down the road. But again, even I myself am still learning. So I hope that all of this helps you in some way, shape, or form this week. And I hope that y'all have a blessed week, have a blessed day, night, wherever you are, and that you continue on this 2026 with so much more hope and so much more confidence, despite of whatever life throws at you. So yeah, that's about it. Okay, time to get up. Time to get up. Time to get up.